And here's what being homeless helped me. Here's how it helped me, right? It helped me because I got to see uncensored, unfiltered human nature at a very early age. And I got to see what the truth was at an early age. And like basically, if you don't work, you don't eat. And I've felt the consequences of socioeconomic systems breaking down. I am a direct, like I am directly out of that type of system, right? And the reason why I think I don't have a problem telling the truth or pushing people, right, is because I've seen what's possible. I don't have to wear rose-colored glasses around it. I don't hide from it. And actually, our city has manifested itself and said, we're going to put this homelessness in your face like never before. We will have encampments outside of your school. 2 blocks from Lafayette Elementary School is encampments, right? And so I think that we have to be very realistic about the city. Are we the city that we think we are? Are we the progressive? We not worried about that. We're gonna focus on equity type space, or are we those like moderates and liberals that Dr. King warned you about? Are we those people that like to like come off the hill and preach about these things, but yet and still you don't want your kids sitting next to these Black kids? You just want to like not expand this system because there's a narrative that you want to be able to tell at your wine parties.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And we've been all digging out, and I know we have to close, but like just the electoral piece, right? Like you don't really want your kids there, and you get to be the one that has the power to vote on, what does happen in those schools, whether or not you get the person who's like has no idea what you're talking about, running for office, but some kind of way ideologically that's lined up to, kind of where you're at. And it doesn't ruffle your feathers too much. And it sounds like the right thing to do to be, just, pro-union or pro whatever, or hear the talking points and this is evil. But again, you lose sight of young people in this. It's another conversation, but I've been having my own soul searching around, closing Kaiser, because this is the first year of like the Sankofa and Kaiser merger. And because of COVID, like we haven't even been able to really like feel it or understand or even wrap our arms around it to say like it was a really rough year, So we haven't been able to do it. But I'm also remembering this white man like chasing me out of La Escuelita and me running into my friend's car and like hyperventilating and crying and so afraid that like he was going to do something to me.
Right.
Over the idea of, moving a student body down to another school that had space, and this notion of integration and this notion of access to quality, not proximity to whiteness, because I'm not really interested in that. But, right? Like there was some promise that, hey, we might do something different through our equity lens. And that man chased me. That man scared me to death. So they do go hard for, I'm saying, to like keep yourself over there. No, I ain't voting for, what I mean? I'm gonna put your head on a popsicle stick to make it seem like you've done something incorrect, to sit in that seat on the board. I will stop and not digress on me, but that's the ecosystem we're in. I'm getting that from you. The ecosystems, pay attention to that. And I just got you on. We have to share the story of equity. Like, are we going to boldly say this is what we're about? So I'm appreciating
and boldly say it. And are we going to boldly do it? Are we going to actually like have our convictions and follow through? Because that's the other thing, right? We get cold. We like to posture, and then we get cold feet, and then we stop in the middle, and then it's just catastrophe. So I appreciate y'all having me. Ryan, you're going to have a hell of an editing job to do, but I think that the conversation went in a lot of places. Again, do we have the courage of our convictions to be the Oakland that we like to act like we are and say we are, or whatnot? And are we going to make sure that babies ain't sleeping under a bridge? Or are we going to keep letting folks that just moved in here continue to posture? There are districts in OUSD that white people have 80% of the vote, but only 20% of the kids. So there's a lot of people running around screaming about democracy this, democracy that, no billionaires in this or whatever, right? But these are people who are choosing that have money to not put their kids in certain schools, to not put their kids next to you. And we got to,
all day long about my baby.
Exactly. While we got kids that are depending on Oakland's system to actually get the meals that they're going to eat that day. And I know this firsthand because I was one of those kids that stole a cup in San Francisco, went to Carl's Jr. and had soda, and then came to school and ate breakfast. So, you know, who are we?
Thanks. Give thanks. Ryan, you got any raps?
Big thanks to both of you, especially Dr. Cole. Thanks you, Charles, for sharing your story with us and trying to help us understand more about the urgency, you know, that's behind our unsheltered youth in Oakland and what their stories are.
Hey, man, I appreciate you being here, and thank you both very, very much. Anytime.
Thank you. I'm going to take a few of these nuggets and start looking at, as I review the policy, again, making sure that it speaks to, you know, the heart of our students and the possibilities and the boldness and the action around it. So thanks. It's going to get to be better documented.
All right.